I haven't wet myself. So the first reason why you shouldn't fight like this is it just makes you feel rigid. If you're trying to fight and your hands are stuck like this, you know, your movement is going to be a bit less fluid. You know, and when you try and throw punches from here, you're going to be, you know, shoulders are going to come up because you're trying to stick them to your head. And this is what a lot of people mean in the comments when they tell you to keep your hands up, is they think you should be fighting.
Artists, you can't just be, you know, from my experience, you can't just be having your guard up the entire time. Because even though if you have your guard up protecting your face, you might as well have it in a way where it's lower. So here's how I did it.
Everyone always says, keep your hands up. And it's a very common comment that I get on my videos too. But we've seen time and time again from different professional fighters across different platforms that maybe keeping your hands up all the time is not the best thing to do. Do they know something we don't? Take Floyd Mayweather, for example. His signature guard, the Philly shell, shows his front hand down by his waist. This goes against everything we're taught, but he's also undefeated. Well, today, I'm gonna go through some of the reasons why I think you shouldn't keep your hands up. Although you shouldn't keep your hands up, you should most definitely be getting the height of your kicks up. And the thing that's stopping you from doing that is your flexibility. That is the main thing. So I created a 12-week program just for you, and it includes Right, let's get on with the video. First of all, if you notice this wet patch, it's because I spilled toothpaste down myself and I tried to wash it off with water. I haven't wet myself. So the first reason why you shouldn't fight like this is it just makes you feel rigid. If you're trying to fight and your hands are stuck like this, you know, your movement is going to be a bit less fluid. You know, and when you try and throw punches from here, you're going to be, you know, shoulders are going to come up because you're trying to stick them to your head. And this is what a lot of people mean in the comments when they tell you to keep your hands up, is they think you should be fighting like this. And after every punch, you're scrambling to get your hands back up here. You will be much more relaxed if you just drop your hands a little bit. It doesn't have to be like down there, but drop your hands a little bit to a relaxed position. And then from here, you can throw your punches and they're a lot better. Because one of the biggest things in fighting, the best thing you can be is relaxed, which is easier said than done. It's hard to relax when you're fighting because you've got the adrenaline going. But in this position, you're so stiff and tense, nothing is going to come out well when you're trying to fight like that, and everything's going to come up and it's just not going to be fluid. You do not want to fight when you're tense, so relax. Drop your hands a little bit. The second reason why you should drop your hands at least a little bit when you're fighting or sparring is that you can actually use this to your advantage. Obviously, you have to be careful with this because, you know, you don't want to get caught. But if you drop your hands a little bit lower on purpose, it looks like you're not protecting your face. So you can like lure your opponent into like a false sense of security. They might see that as an opening to come forward and attack the face. And you can use this. You can drop your hands, almost invite that attack. And then as soon as they go, you fire that counter punch and then you've caught them. Obviously be careful with this and you have to be ready to fire as soon as they come, because if you don't, you are just gonna get caught if your hand's all the way down. But that's just something you can use. You know, you can keep your backhand up here and just every now and then just drop that a little bit, you know, relax it, just keep it ready to go if you need to, or keep it ready to come back up, but drop it a little bit. Almost invite that in, and as soon as they twitch, bang, you come in with your, you know, strike them over the top. Because if you're walking around fighting like this, they're not going to want to attack the face as much, because, you know, naturally it is going to be harder to get your face if you're like this. But if you're like this, your body's going to be more open anyway. So it's either leave your head or your body open. It's one or the other. I mean, a lot of people would say you'd rather leave your body open, but you can strategically leave your head open and then they'll come over the top. And also this one is not doing nothing. It's protecting the body anyway. So if it's lower, it's easier to protect the body. And then obviously, you know, Philly shell it a little bit. Maybe not if you're not experienced in that, but bait them into an attack. And then as soon as they go, you go. And that's sort of just a little way that you can use dropping your hands to your advantage as a bit of a tactic move. Next point is that for most of the fight, majority of the fight, I'd say, there's not actually much need to have your hands up. Different distances require different guards. So for a lot of the fight, you're going to be fighting, testing each other, trying to get each other to bait, and you're going to be fairly far away, like not within punching distance for most of it. You're going to be sort of out of range testing, and at that point, if you're not even in range to get punched in the face, your hands don't need to be there. You can relax them here, and obviously, yes, you could get kicked from that range, but kicks are slower than punches. You're going to have that extra bit of time to bring your hands up if you need to. It would be silly, and you don't see any fighters when they're further away, out of striking range. You don't see any of them walking around like that. You know, they're all a bit relaxed. You know, some of them might have them a bit higher, some of them might have them a bit lower, like more relaxed, but you'll never see that, like walking around like that the whole time. Because also, it's also, again, tenses you up, and that's also going to tire you out more, because that requires a bit of tension in your muscles, so that you're just going to get tired more quickly. Having your hands like this is required when you're sort of this close, because at that range you're in immediate danger of, depends what art you're doing, but elbow to the face, punch to the face, you know, you're in immediate danger. So when you're in here, you can have your hands up and be protecting properly. As you step out, you know, around here is still close range. So you can still have them close to your head, but they don't need to be so up. You know, you can sort of relax them a little bit. As you step back, the hands can gradually relax more, because now you're not really in the immediate range to get struck in the face by a punch. And then as you come out to your sort of relaxation range where you're just, you know, bouncing and testing, your hands can completely relax because, you know, you don't have that immediate worry. It's all about what kind of situation you're in. Your distance is what dictates what kind of guard you should have up. You know, if I did find myself in this range in a spar, my hands wouldn't be like down here relaxed, you know, like I'm saying, because now you're in danger. So my hands would be up here, and then you're throwing these shots here, and then your hands do need to be up. But for the most part, when you're out here, my hands would be more relaxed. You just have to remember that relaxation is key, and relaxing your guard is one of the best things you can do when it's appropriate to do so. This next point is relating to martial arts that have kicks in them. If your guard is like this, you will reduce the amount of force you can get into your kick. This is another comment that I get all the time on my videos, is you should keep your hands up when you're kicking. So what people think you should do is this. That is terrible. That's rubbish for your kick. That is not good advice at all, because especially when you're in kicking range, like I said earlier, you're not in immediate danger of being clocked in the face with the punch. I mean, obviously it could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but the chances are a lot lower. And the extra momentum you'll get from using that hand outweighs the risk of being punched from that range. You can keep one hand up while you're kicking, obviously. So, for example, if you've got the front hand up here, you can keep that one next to the face and use this backhand to swing back and use that for momentum, because that will massively improve your kick. And it feels really awkward to try and kick like this, and your technique goes to nothing. You can't even really see where your kick's going, because when your hands are here, your head kind of goes with it and you're kind of looking the other way. That's when you sometimes see quite poor technique, is when you're trying to keep them up. And obviously people have been taught this, so it's not people's fault when they do this, but it's just a tip for you. Don't keep your hands stuck to your head when you're kicking. Just relax it a bit. Just like I said earlier, your martial arts and combat will be a lot better when you're relaxed, and especially your kicks. Because if you're tensed up when you're kicking, world of difference. Next up, if you're doing an art that involves both striking and grappling, having your hands stuck here may not be good for you when your opponent shoots for a takedown, for example, because your hands have got further to travel from here to try and come down, sprawl and do whatever you want to do to defend that takedown. Whereas even if you just drop them slightly, you're then ready to defend anything that comes really, because obviously if a punch comes to your face, you know, your hands are not low, they're just relaxed. If a punch comes to your face, you're ready to move your hands up. If something comes to the body, you're ready to close up and protect that. Obviously legs are different, you defend in different ways, but if someone comes in for a takedown, obviously when you're here, your hands are then close enough to that, you can come straight down and do whatever you need to do there. Find a nice position in the middle where you can comfortably defend anything that comes your way with ease. Because obviously this might be good for head defense, but that's about it. You know, body is going to be a bit awkward to defend from there, especially takedowns. It's going to be effort to come all the way down. So yeah, just find a nice comfortable middle ground where you're relaxed and you can defend anything, and that will improve your sparring definitely. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it and I hope you took something from it. Please let me know if you would like to see more stuff like this, or if you'd rather see like reaction videos, or just let me know what kind of long videos you prefer to see me do. Check out my flexibility program.
Now, I know many of you are going to be like, he's definitely wrong on this take. But I'm telling you guys right now, he's actually low-key right. There's a reason why I'm saying this guy is actually correct about keeping your hands up, or why you shouldn't keep your hands up all the time, technically. Because he's right about one thing, kicking. As you guys notice with kicking, the moment you start trying to throw a kick, and you know what he was throwing, and most people actually do that, what he's doing. I know my dojo and gym next door that still accidentally have people still doing that. And it's not even like you're doing it on purpose. It's more of an instinctual reaction than anything. So let's go towards the comments. And pretty much I feel like almost debating everyone in there, because something tells me they probably don't believe this is the right way to do things. Okay, so this guy says, I don't even know where to begin with this. There are so many wrong things wrong with what you said. Basically, I already said correctly, but my bad. It all depends on the fighting style. You clearly have no idea about different fighting styles, or about different styles, utilizing their guard. If you think Muay Thai practitioners can't defend their bodies with their upper body, I guess that's what you're saying, then you have a rock in your head. I'm sorry, but this is also agreeable. But then again, when, you know, he's telling the truth about one thing and one thing only, ladies and gentlemen, is that he's basically saying you guys can't keep your head like this. Where is it? Like that. This is so dangerous. I kid you not. You have zero range and you're gonna have to get extremely close to every opponent you fight. Like, I've had to go extremely, and when I say this, to the extreme amount of lengths to get real close to my opponent in that in particular guard stance. I can't do anything. But when it's like this right here, screw that. He's not in his stance. What is he doing? Well, what is this frame doing? Okay. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So we'll keep going a little bit. Yeah, like this. When it's his stance like this, so you can lower your guard a bit, but it helps the accuracy of the kick. But the one he was doing, that guard requires you to put down one hand for exchange of a better guard on one side. And the moment that kick misses, you're screwed. See, the thing is, you have to be more efficient with the ways you do things when you're a martial artist. You can't just be, you know, from my experience, you can't just be having your guard up the entire time. Because even though if you have your guard up protecting your face, you might as well have it in a way where it's lower. So here's how I did it. If it's like ridiculous like this, don't do this. The arms should be at least towards the chin level where your mouth is. Because even though it's kind of like this, but that's the wrong one. I guess that's his boxing style in his country, in London or whatever, or Britain. That's not how you do it. You're supposed to have it near your chin. Your mouth needs to be also tucked in. Your chin needs to be tucked in. And you need to be constantly moving over and over and over and over again. Like just looking kind of out of place and crazy. That's my style of doing it. I tried to take on Mike Tyson's style, but push it in a little bit with mine. Mine's is where I have my guard lowered a little bit, slightly. One arm's in front, and another is like close enough to my face. So I'm like ready to block it. But this new guard for me, I call it the Mike Tyson Bison guard, or whatever it's going to be called, because it helps me personally. Especially if I want to get on an aggressive opponent, I really can actually lean in and kick. So when I'm down, I can actually take down my guard on my left hand, right? Then I can kick with extreme accuracy and I can quickly put it back up. My point is that the guard he's using is exactly what almost everyone around the world who accidentally uses this. And then they end up getting knocked out quite easily. You would expect a lot of people not to get knocked out. Or how about this? Maybe some of you guys don't even have knockouts. So let's just say points. that person's going to get a lot of points off the simple fact that you're not defending your face, or you're defending it too close, right? And you're leaving a wide gap in front of you open for someone to knock you out or get extra points. That's the exact reason why you need to also lower down your guard for a kick or for a hit. Sometimes I believe also overextending works to an extent. Again, it has to be set up. It can't just be you constantly depending on it. So that's where you fail, if you are constantly depending on overextending. So that's actually your fault. But a lot of these people don't really agree with him. Oh, let me read this comment right here. Another thought: when your hands are close to your face, you're actually pulling the plumb line closer to your body, giving less distance time to intercept, react to your opponent's attacks. Or when the hands extends the plumb line forward, just those few inches makes a huge difference in how much you have to react and how much space you have to maneuver. Actually, I kind of agree with this, because it's basically, if you can't put up your hands fast enough, your reaction time is slower, from what I know. And on top of that, your reactions look a little bit just turtle-ish, or T-Rex-ish, as I like to call it, with T-Rex hands. Like, you know, Hanukkah from Dead or Alive, she suffers from T-Rex hands. So she can't really get in close, so she has to use other moves in order to, you know, gap the distance. So, I mean, yeah, you guys might as well switch stances depending on the range. Let your guard down a little bit. But if you're close enough, then yeah, I guess that guard works. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he definitely has a point, because, you know, he was using examples of the guard being all the way up. You're not supposed to be doing that. I think he's kind of being dramatic. Now that I'm really looking at the video, he's being very dramatic. You're not supposed to be doing that. Maybe that's people at your gym. But what I was taught is that you keep your hands near your chin. And they had to be near your chin and also near your stomach. If your elbows are not even touching your stomach slowly, and when I say this, if your elbows are not even near your stomach enough, at least at an angle to where you can both do both things, like punching fast enough and closing the distance, then you're doing it wrong. Because I have my hands near my chin, but not on my chin, near it, enough to say that we're close, and for it to be like something I can close the distance into. I know I've repeated myself many times, but that's what I'm trying to explain. I feel like when I watch Nat's videos, he's kind of over dramatic about it, and I don't know what person spars like the people who he's explaining about. So I don't know anyone like that at all. Sorry if I'm confused, but like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know who does that. That has to be more of a London thing, because an American thing, they don't do that. Every dojo I go to, gym, they don't do this. Unless they're misinformed, and as you call it, a Mick dojo, or I call it a bullshido dojo. And yeah, then that's how you end up getting knocked out easily, and you learn. Anyways, guys, if you guys are sparring out there, make sure to like keep your hands up, but near your chin. That's my advice. That's my style a little bit. It's a little bit of a mixture between Mike Tyson, kickboxing, and I throw in a little bit of Muay Thai in there. If you're doing striking, I suggest Muay Thai and kickboxing, and then just actual boxing. But then try to imitate. You can't really completely imitate Mike Tyson's style, but try to steady the whole movement. Do what you can. That's it. That's what I do. That's my style. But even though if I told you about my style, doesn't mean you'll know what to do against it. It just looks like it. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Hi, I'm Lucy Christian. I am the voice of Otako Uraraka, and you should subscribe to Neusxanity's channel. Peace out!